Welcome everybody to day 4 of my Christmas giveaways. I'm super excited to be giving you another live giveaway tonight. To everybody who joins me, you're going to get a link to the giveaway that I'm giving you tonight. And every night it keeps getting a little bit better because I keep adding pieces to it. So if you missed the first few nights, on the first night I gave away a whole writing project, and you can see this on my blog actually at Out of This World Literacy. You can go to the blog post about this and click this image and you'll still be able to grab that freebie that I gave away the first night. The second night I gave away 2 reading interventions, and these are all exclusive giveaways. I don't have these in my store or anywhere else. And then last night I gave away 3 interactive notebook lessons and all the components that go along with those. So if you missed any of those giveaways that I've already done, you can check them out on my blog at Out of This World Literacy and look for those images of these covers. All you have to do is click those images and you can get the link that'll take you to that exclusive giveaway that I did, and you can still get a copy of it. So tonight is night 4. Thank you all for joining me. If you're just coming on, feel free to say hello. I love seeing all my friends that are coming back to join me each night, and it's super exciting for me. But tonight is all about my units of study. So tonight I'm giving you 4 mini lessons for units of study. And this is really cool because I'm giving you the first 2 days of a personal narrative, or some people call it a memoir, of a personal narrative unit of study. So I'm going to give you the reading and the writing lessons and all the components that go along with that for the first 2 days of your unit of study. So that's really exciting. So you'll see this link pop up in just a minute. I'm going to give you a link to this. Hi Sonia, hi Marsha, hi Christina, I see you. I'm going to give you a link to this in just a moment, and I'll put it in the comment section so you can get to it. But let me show you really quick what I mean by units of study and how I use reading and writing workshop time. I'm just going to quickly go over how I do that, and I'm going to show you the pages that you're going to get in the freebie tonight too, in the giveaway. So you're going to get some teacher pages that give you explanations of how I use the reading workshop and the writing workshop. You can use these to help you get ideas on how to use your reading workshop time and your writing workshop time if you'd like. And how I do it is basically I have usually about 45 minutes to an hour to teach reading workshop. And so what I do is I start out with my whole group mini lesson. And from that mini lesson, I have a mini lesson statement that I use with my class in both reading and writing. And this is, I'm going to show you this page right here because this is the pyramid that I'm talking about. So on the yellow, or on the red step there, the very bottom, that is step 1 of my workshop, and this is for both reading and writing. So what I do is I have a mini lesson statement, and I give the kids a purpose. So I say, readers do this, or writers do this, so that this is why. Because I like to give my kids a purpose for what they're doing. And then step 2, we have direct instruction with examples from the teacher. So it's kind of that I do, we do, you do model, because step 3 is shared learning with the teacher and the student input. And then step 4 is the students are trying it out, still in the small group with a partner. And then step 5, they share what they're going to do for work time. And then they go to their independent practice, and the last step in the workshop is the share at the end, which is only a few minutes, but it's very important. So those are my steps, and you can see this tonight. I'm going to give you this as a free resource. If you kind of want to see a guide on how I do workshops, you can do that. I also have a couple of pages on interactive read-alouds, where I talk about interactive read-alouds and how they are the heart of the reading and writing workshop framework. If you use reading workshop and writing workshop, interactive read-alouds should be your bread and butter. They're really like the meat and potatoes of the whole workshop. So I read picture books, mentor text to my students outside of the workshop time because I want to keep my mini lessons mini. So I read these books ahead of time so that we can have a classroom community full of books that we are familiar with. Our whole class has read them together, and the kids love these interactive read-alouds. I use them for reading workshop, I use them for writing workshop, I use them to teach grammar, I use them for writing conferences when I pull out a book and show the kids what the author did. I use them for reading conferences. I mention them during guided reading, so they really become a whole part of my entire day. And if I use social studies books, say like in a historical fiction, I can incorporate other subjects too. I want to show you just a couple of my favorite personal narrative books really quick that are going to go along with this unit that I'm giving you. So this first one, I'm from Wisconsin, so I saw some people are from Wisconsin already, and this is a story about Donald Driver, who was a receiver for the Green Bay Packers, and the boys love this story. It's called Quickie Makes the Team, and it's written by Donald Driver. So it's a personal narrative, and it's about Donald when he was a little boy. He was not a very good athlete, or he was not very big. So he wanted to play football, but everyone kept telling him, no, 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 you cannot play football, you're too tiny. And he didn't listen to them, he went and played anyways. So it's his story about learning how to play football. So what I would do for the units of study, for my personal narrative I'm going to give you, I would read this to my class ahead of time, and we would all have a shared learning experience about Donald Driver and Quickie making the team, and we'd start talking about personal narratives with this book. And I would use it when I do my mini lesson then. Another one I love is by Cynthia Rylant. You've probably seen this one. It's called The Relatives Came, and it's a story about, Cynthia Rylant has lots of personal memoirs, her and, Patricia Polacco. Yeah, Patricia Polacco has tons too. But it's about her relatives coming one summer and visiting. So I might read those two books ahead of time, knowing that I'm going to use them in my mini lessons. So here is the first lesson you're going to get. And I'm going to give you the first 2 days of personal narrative to get you started going. So this page, you'll see, it has the mini lesson statement on the top, and then it has directions for the teacher. So you can have all kinds of ideas to use during your mini lesson time. So the first lesson is readers think about the kinds of text features that are in personal narratives so they can better understand what they are reading. So I start every unit of study out talking about text features that they notice in that genre. And so we would pull out the books we've already read, and as a class we would make an anchor chart like this example here that has the mini lesson statement on it. And as a class, we would look at these books and we would decide what text features do we notice that come up often in personal narratives. And then I'm going to give you this page where the kids can try it out on their own. And then you can make this class list with your class on the first day, getting used to all the text features that you see in a personal narrative. So this is part of your freebie tonight too. So you'll get this, and you can have the kids put this in their notebook. It's a great anchor chart for the unit. You can have them put it in their notebook. They can add to it throughout the month-long unit too. So that's really helpful. And then in the writing workshop, if you use my units of study, you know I tie reading into writing. And I always teach reading first because reading is a little bit easier for kids than writing. Because in reading, they can do things like identifying things within the text. And in writing, they have to actually use really high-level thinking skills like applying things. And that can be really hard when you're just like, okay, guys, let's go write a personal narrative, and you haven't set them up to be successful. Where if you do reading first and you talk about text features in a personal narrative, then they can try out those text features in their own writing of a personal narrative, and they have that foundation. So it's really, really powerful when you do the reading first and you set the foundation for the writing. So the first writing mini lesson is here, so it'll tie in, and it'll say writers plant seeds in their writer's notebooks so they can think carefully about what they might want to write about. And so you have all the teacher directions, and then as a class, you can start thinking of things that you might write about as a writer, and you start planting your own personal narrative seeds on the board, and you're modeling that for the class, so showing them that you're a writer too, and that you're going to go through the process with them is really powerful. And then the kids can go back to their desk and they can write their own ideas, their own seeds. So that's the first day you're going to get. And then, so you have reading and writing day 1. Then you're going to get reading and writing day 2. Hi, Amber from Wisconsin. Hi, Mandy from Ohio. So on day 2 of your personal narrative unit, there's your anchor chart, there's your mini lesson, and it says readers notice when important information is revealed in a personal narrative so they can understand the author's message. You hear this? So that's the purpose for the kids, so that they can understand the author's message. And you see down here, I have a couple of book suggestions. I have Thank You, Mr. Falker and Saturdays and Tea Cakes by Lester Lamnick, which we would have read these together as a class already. So we're not going to read them right now because that would take forever. It's a mini lesson, so we want to keep it mini. So we would have these already read, and then as a class, we would fill out some things. And I would have the book right in front of me, and we would, as a class, decide what's some important information from both of these books, and what was the author's message. And that would be my mini lesson for that day. And then when they go off and they read, they can look for important information in the own books that they're reading. And here's a graphic organizer you're going to get, the little VIPs here. And you can have the kids do this with their own books that they're reading that day too. And so then tying in with that lesson, you'll do your writing, which you're going to get this too. And in your writing, it says, writers reveal something important about themselves in a personal narrative so that they can make their writing interesting. And so they are going to reveal something important about themselves to make their writing interesting. But you see how I'm not just having them start writing a personal narrative. I'm setting them up by using these mentor texts, by using a reading workshop framework, and getting them to see like a writer with the reading they already have. It's a much easier skill for them when they can actually explore the ideas of a genre as a reader, and it's a little safer for them than trying to just go out and write their own personal narrative. So they always tie in together like that. So tonight, I know I've been talking a lot, but I wanted to give you a little bit of understanding and background behind that. So tonight I'm going to give you those 4 lessons for the units of study that you can get. That's the personal narrative. I have 10 different units of study. So I have one on launching the reading and writing workshops. You can use it at the beginning of the year or and when you come back from Christmas, it's a really good review for your workshops or if you want to try something new. I also have an informational one, opinion, historical fiction, realistic fiction, poetry and figurative language, biography, traditional literature, and fantasy. So those are all month-long units for both reading and writing workshop. And they're for grades 2 through 6. And they give you everything you need for teaching your whole month of reading and writing. So let me give you the link to these free copies. Right now I'm going to put it in, I'm on my computer. I have to put it over in my comment section, and I will edit the title after I get done being live too, and I will put it in that title as well. But I'm gonna put it in the comment section right about now. And then I'm also gonna add a link to my store that has the units of study in there because they are actually all on sale until 11 p.m. tonight. If you're interested in any of them or any of the bundles, they'll be in my store tonight until 11 p.m. Central. They'll be on sale. So there are the links to the grades 2 through 6 there. And that is all I have for my giveaways tonight. Now, if you're all rushing over to the Google Drive at the same time, it might take a second, so just be patient. Or if you're on your iPad, it might have a hard time downloading it. Some people have had a hard time on their iPad, I don't know why. But then when they got to their computer, they were able to download it. So great, Amber, I'm so excited that you love them. Yay. They were actually the first resources I created. It's how I kind of got started being a teacher author. I was a literacy coach in Wisconsin, and all of the teachers there were asking me to help them write units for their classrooms. I was doing a lot of theory, professional development for them, and they were like, this is all great, but can you actually write some units for us? And I was like, no. You can do that. I don't want to write any units. Are you crazy? I don't know. I'm too busy. And they kept asking and asking and asking. So I finally said, all right, I'll sit down and I'll write these units. And I thought, well, maybe someone else might like them too. There's this, site on Teachers Pay Teach. I don't know what that is. So I thought I'll just try it. And so I put it out there and people liked it. And so I started making more, and it's really become my passion. I love teaching teachers. I love helping teachers. I love learning from teachers and feeling like I'm a part of communities all over the world. So it's really been awesome. So thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm going to give away 5, I'm really excited about tomorrow night, because tomorrow night I'm going to give it away 5 spelling activities that aren't even in my spelling curriculum. So a lot of the stuff that I've been giving away is part of other units that I have, but these I actually made in addition, and I'm giving them away to everybody for free. And you don't even need the spelling program that I use to use them either. If you teach spelling, you will be able to use these with any spelling list. There are 5 really creative and really cool ways that you can have kids practice their spelling words, and you can use them with any list of words every week after week. So they're really fun. I'm going to give those away to you tomorrow, and I'm going to show them to you. They're nowhere else. You can't even get them for free in my store or anywhere. So come back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, and I'll show you those spelling activities that I have, 5 of them to give you tomorrow night, because it's the 5th day. I'll be giving you those for free, and I'll also share a little bit about how I teach spelling, because it is a little bit different, and interactive and differentiated. So I'll share a little bit of some stuff on how I teach spelling. If you like units of study and you want to learn more, and I talked really fast, I tried to tell you everything in 10 minutes, which is impossible, you can check out jenbengalwebinars.com, and I have actually free webinars that I walk you through my reading and writing workshop with all kinds of visual aids, and you'll get a certificate of participation, and you can see exactly how I set up my workshops. I take you through a whole day of reading and writing, and it might be really helpful for you. If you'd like to hear that webinar, it would be something you might like to see. That's at jenbengalwebinars.com, which is JenBengel, all E's, webinars.com. So that's all I have for you guys tonight, and I hope you can join me tomorrow for spelling. I'm really excited about that one too. Take care, everybody, and have a great Thursday tomorrow. Good night.